Welcome. Last week I had the pleasure of treating myself with some light shopping. And I don't usually do that, but this time I thought, why not? And while I was not looking for it, there was something that really caught my attention. It was a green pattern tie. Now, when it comes to ties, if I like it, it's going in my collection. I usually don't go for greens, but this was something that was rather quite eye catching. So I thought, why not? Let's entertain that. And while I added it to my collection, I thought, let's visit some of the collection of ties that I've developed over the years. It's really been a distinct pleasure because I don't know, I've been really fortunate to be able to collect ties and develop some taste in it as I've aged, let's say. Now, when I was going through it, I thought let's go through it together. And in this video, what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about how I tie a knot, and more importantly, what other set of ties that you can have other than the traditional ones that you actually see or usually see people wearing on formal wear. So let's dive in. Now, here's some ties. I'm going to take this very dark red, deep red tie. It is a pattern tie, and we're going to do something called as Windsor knot, a full Windsor knot, that too. Now, this knot was taught to me by my father when I was around 12 or 13 years old. And since then, I've done it the same way and I've just fallen in love with it. I've come across other knots, but full Windsor knot always has my love. Now, there's something about full Windsor knot. It gives you that elegance. It's also simple, yet it provides this symmetric appearance to your profile, to your personality, and I really love that. So, without talking too much, let's dive into how to tie a full Windsor knot. So, let's dive right in. Now, whenever you tie a knot, you want to make sure that it ends up here, right where your shirt ends and your pant begins. Okay, it should not go too long. It should always end up here. It should also not be too short. It should never end up here. Okay, it looks really bad. So you have to pay attention to something called this. It's a line. It's a slant line that you'll see usually on all ties. And what you want to do is when you place it over your shoulders, and let's say you raise your collar, okay, you want to make sure that the one side is typically crossing this line, the slant line. It's really basically on top, beneath it, right beneath it. And you want about a thumb size of the material on the other side of this side. Okay. So now once you have it, just turn it one side on the left, then from beneath, bring it up from the right and put it down under. Now you'll see why it gets the symmetric pattern, because there's a flap coming on from both ends. So obviously it gets the symmetric nature. Now all you have to do is cover those flaps, go once again underneath it, and let's go under from here, and then just tie a knot or tie your tie as comfortable as you'd like to be, as close to your neck as you'd like to be. But if you pay attention to it, it always ends up at the place where the shirt ends for me. See, this is the perfect knot that you can put on yourself when tying a tie, and it will always end up, if you follow the method that I've just shown you, it will always end up where the shirt ends. Okay, so if I just tighten it a little bit more, and if I stand, see, it's ending up exactly where my shirt ends. And that's what you want. And if you follow the instructions I gave you just right now, you will always end up in this situation. See, it's always symmetric. Let me get close so you can see the tie itself, right? See, if you see the knot, you can always shape it. You can always put it close. Now, I don't like to tie my button here because it just feels too restricted. And so one of the things I want to work on is the neck size of the shirts. Possibly the next time I have a shirt made for me, I'll make sure that this collar length or the neck length is proper for my liking. Okay, so I can actually put in the button as well. But as you can see, it looks beautiful, the knot. Okay, you can always play with it. You want to create this samosa here. Okay, that's what you want with the knot. Otherwise, an excellent tie. So there you have it, folks. That was the full Windsor knot. Now let's remove this for a second and let's talk about another type of knot that exists. Not knot actually, because let's talk about another type of tie that usually people wear, but that's not usually so common in India or even in formal locations. But it certainly adds a new let's say style to your personality. And let's talk about it. It's called an ascot. Now, if you don't know about ascot, it's a very interesting way of saying that you're tying a tie. Now, when it's hot out there and you want to keep the buttons open, you can keep the collar open, get the winds in a little bit. But at the same time, you still want to feel and look like a gentleman. That's where the ascot comes into picture. Now, let's talk about how to tie an ascot. It's pretty much the same philosophy, same structure to it, the way you tie an ascot. But if you look at it, it looks like this. Okay. Now, in colder regions as well, people do wear an ascot, but that the material itself is a little thicker. And we could dive into this, but perhaps some other time. So let's look at how to tie a ascot. Again, same profile. You want to actually have the same style going in. Now, there would be a certain panel where you see, okay, there would be a line. You put this material, again, one side underneath it, the other side kind of goes from underneath. Okay, now you don't have to do the full Windsor style because it's not needed. Okay, so you just flap it, you just cover it once. And once you're done, let me just I just messed it up a little bit. So let me straighten this one out a bit. Okay, once you have that cover, okay, you just want to go inside and come from top. Once you have this thing going, all you want to do is put everything underneath your chest, okay? And you can pull in how much tight you want from the other side as you did for the original tie, okay? So you can pull in how much closer you want and things like that, but everything goes under your shirt now. Now, once you go like this, you just tie one button if you want, or if you don't want to tie any buttons, you can still keep it open while the ascot covers you. Now you can keep the buttons open, okay? You can have some more unique style to yourself, but at the same time, still look and feel like a gentleman. Again, ascot is a very beautiful piece of cloth that you can put around your neck. It looks so light, elegant. It feels so comfortable. I think it's more comfortable than the original tie. I think the reason is because it's not constricted to your neck. It's kind of loose around your neck. At the same time, covers it beautifully. You can keep the buttons open. And it's a little windy, so you can also enjoy the winds without getting too constricted and feeling too uncomfortable. Okay, so that was an ascot. Okay, now let me just remove the ascot and let's review the ties. Okay, but hopefully you got some sense when you don't want to look too professional, but at the same time you want to have some sense of style, or you just want to stand out. Definitely, if you don't have an ascot, go for an ascot. Get one. Now look at the ascot itself, let's say. Let's look at it. It has beautiful pattern on it. As you can see, it's not blank. It's not a solid red or solid black. It has patterns on it. The reason you want some patterns is because so that you can actually match it with different shirts and also different suits. Maybe if you have pocket square, that's also a good one because you want to match it with it, right? So you want some patterns, okay, with your ties, with your ascots, specifically ascot. I have another ascot which again is a little bit diminished pattern, but you can see there's a pattern in it. It's not pure solid. I'm not sure if you can see it in the reflection, but there is again pattern to it. This provides a little bit more texture. It doesn't feel too blank. I feel that when it's too blank, right, I don't feel comfortable. I want some texture to it. Otherwise, it looks as if I'm there for a funeral or something. I don't want to look like that ever. So just having some pattern and some texture gives you that extra oomph that you might need in your look. So again, have an ascot if you don't have it. Now let's look at the tie that we wore previously. Again, I could have gotten a solid tie, but I don't like the solid ones. It just feels too blank. So I always get something of a pattern. This is not a herringbone, but sort of like a basket weave kind of pattern here on the tie. Again, looks very elegant. So from far away, it might look solid, but as you go closer, it just adds a new texture to your look and a new flavor to your look, which is really good. I really appreciate that in my ties. So now let's look at other one. I don't know what kind of pattern this is, but again, it looks marvelous because again, even the red one or this one goes with the suit, goes with the shirt, and you can combine it with different shirt. I think you can also go with some light color shirt like a sky blue shirt as well. It will look very beautiful. You can do a very light gray as well. I think that it could go with that as well. I think it will look fine. Or you can go with something really dark like a black shirt. It might do just well because of the blue. And as I said, if you have patterns, if you have some of a mixed color, you can always match the shirt because the background of this is actually black. But because of the patterns in blue, you see mostly blue. So you can go with multiple shirts, suits, and just a very good look. This one, this tie is sort of a more of a professional tie. It's something I would wear in rather interviews or not too like let's say too fancy party type, but rather a little bit more on the professional side, something that looks elegant, something that makes you stand out, but at the same time, it gives you the feel and the confidence that is needed in a good tie that is professional and makes you stand out. So again, a very good piece. And usually when you have straight lines like this, right, it turns out to be a little bit more on the professional side, which is good. You want to have that. You want to have certain ties that can actually stand out and be still sort of. So there's two. It's a dichotomy where you want to stand out, but you also want to blend in the professional attire, and that's the kind of tie you want. Some lines to it, some gives some texture, but at the same time looks very professional. Very good tie. Now this one again, it doesn't have much pattern to it, but if you can see, it's not solid gray. It has the sort of gray dots on it. Again, it goes more of a professional wear, and as you can see, it goes with pretty much the shirt, the suit. You can also do it in light gray, maybe light sky blue color shirts as well. It will go with it. So again, a little bit professional setting tie. As I said, it's a dichotomy. It will allow you to stand out as well as blend in because of the setting you are in. But again, going not too fancy, but yet something that you can really appreciate with your own eyes. So a beautiful tie. Again, gray and metallic colors just go with everything. So I would definitely recommend to add some good ties to your collection. Always look for non-solids if you can. If you have certain use for solids, feel free to do so. I generally tend to find solids are rather too bland for me to tasteless, but it's your life. Do what you want. Now, this was the tie that caught my eye that I was talking about. I have actually not gone for a green one ever. But this was really beautiful. And as you can see, it goes with the suit again, goes with the shirt. And if you have let's say a green shirt, like maybe a pista color shirt or even a dark green, olive green shirt, I think it will go really well with it. I have a dark green, olive green shirt. Perhaps maybe I could wear it sometime and show you. Again, looks really elegant. It's not exactly professional, I would say. It's a little bit more party wear, but I like this tie. The first thing I was shopping for some jeans, but I came across this tie and it just caught my eye, and I was like, let's get the tie. So again, a very beautiful tie, I would say. I generally don't go for greens, but this time I really thought, okay, let's add this to my collection. I don't have something like this. As you can see, goes with the blue, goes with the white shirt, will go with the sky blue because of the blues, will go with the greens. Perhaps not the gray. I'm not so sure about the grays. It will go with something really dark like a black. But again, a very versatile tie to add to your collection, and I just loved it. Cool. So with that, I think we are Then that's all I had to share. But again, it was a real pleasure. Thanks for your viewing and all the best to find something for your collection.